Welcome to the Ravikumar Nadar show. Today I have a guest who is very important for me, who is not only a good friend of mine, but he is also an TEDx speaker and Amazon's best-selling author for the book Build Your Dream Career. And he is also known as a man with a golden heart. So a warm welcome to you, Mr. Fatah Khan.
Hey, thank you, Ravi. Thank you for inviting me to the Ravi Kumar Nadar show. And first of all, congratulations for you to starting this show because I know you have already been doing a lot of work around the mindset matrix and helping people on the mindset. Now with this show, I'm sure like it's going to help a lot of people by adding a lot of value. So thank you for inviting me for this amazing show.
Wonderful, wonderful. Thank you so much. So, help us understand, Fatah. So, share with us a little bit about your journey. Like, from where did you come from, and what is your background? So, you can give us a little bit glimpse about like how did the whole journey got started in the first place.
Okay, thank you for allowing me to do that. So basically, my journey started. I would connect it again to my childhood before I get into my career. Right, in my childhood, I was somebody who was a little shy, and the challenge with me was initially when I was born, my family loved me, everything was all good until I came out in the real world, where I started seeing people who were calling out different names, who were mocking me, who were bullying me because of my dark skin color. And that's where the self image issue started with me. And somehow I did not realize that there were a lot of self image issues. I had low confidence, I had low self image in my childhood. I was a good student though, but these self image issues did not help me to play to my fullest. And that continued not only in my education, but also in my career. Because when I got into my job, again, inside that low self image was still there. And when I used to interact with some senior managers, directors, and all of that, somewhere inside the mind it was going on, I am not worth it, I am not good, right? And I did not come from any IITs, I did not study from some any IAS, or I was not even coming from any good English medium school, right? Though there was a good school, but it was not like any CBSE or ICSE schools. So my English was not that good. So lot of those kind of self-image issues, lot of those kind of self-confidence issues were there, which did not allow me to play fullest. But then, by God's grace, I was able to do well in my education. I was able to do well in my corporate world, though there were a lot of ups and downs in the journey, right? But I was able to play hard. I was able to do a lot of stuff, and that's where I was able to work for some of the top companies and be able to stay at different positions, travel the world, and get success in my career. So yes, ups and downs were there, but fortunately was able to get success in my career. And then after getting that success in the career, there was a point of self realization, which actually shook me and then made me to move into a different direction, where today I am a mid career transformation coach, helping a lot of corporate professionals in their career journey, helping them to grow, right? So that has been a journey so far.
Wonderful, wonderful. And people, when our listeners who might be watching this episode, okay, episode number one, when they might be watching this, they might be thinking that no, it is okay for Fatah because he has a good English and he is very confident enough. Was that the case from earlier, from childhood, or maybe school time or college time, or could you share about that journey as well?
Okay. So that was not the case. Yes, I was passionate about public speaking right from my childhood, but I wasn't a good speaker. My English was not that good. And I remember in my childhood in our school, there was this 3 to 4 stairs. If you climb that and stand on top of it, then that becomes your stage. And I was always passionate about getting onto the stage, and I could grab every opportunity they gave in our school. Like early morning, there was this news reading, quote reading. I used to volunteer and then stand on that stage and then start reading the newspapers, and that actually fascinated me. I was always excited about it. But whenever I did that, I was bullied. People used to laugh at me because I used to always read that newspaper in such a loud voice that the vendors outside my school, like the tea walas or the ice cream walas, could hear that voice. and people used to make fun of me because of that. Plus also my English was not good, and that showed up again in my career, because in my first job, Ravi, I was thrown out of my first job within less than 2 months because of my poor English.
Oh.
And so that is how it was, my English. And then at that time, I realized I took some steps into improve my English. But then again, over a period of time, it showed up because again, when I was working for one of the top companies as a senior leader there, and I was giving certain presentation, and my manager called me up and she said, "Fatha, what is this horrible thing? Right? People could not understand whatever you are speaking." I realized then maybe my English would have improved a bit, but then my communication still was bad, right? I was not able to communicate the right message to the audience, especially when it came to clients across the globe, maybe the internal stakeholders or somebody who is external to the company. I was struggling with that, and that's where I realized I need to improve my communication skills. And I need to thank big time to Toastmasters Club. Bangalore Toastmasters Club is where I joined to improve my English. And then I started reading certain books, and I started getting tips from there. How do you present yourself? It was not only about English, it was not only about how do you articulate, but Bangalore Toastmasters Club helped me also in grooming. How do I show up in front of the crowd, right? How do I start the conversation? How do I do it in a better way? So all of that, I give big credit to Bangalore Toastmasters Club, and it is a part of the International Toastmasters Club, which is across the globe. So that's where it improved. And then after I became the coach or the mentor, I started doing a lot of videos, content creation, and all of that. And I think that has been helping me in terms of keep growing in my career, and then that has been helping me in my English. Still I'm working on my English, but then thank God it has got to a little better stage till now, I would say.
Yes, that's correct. And how important is this? Like, I can see, I can totally relate, especially people who are working in a job as an employee. When they are not able to confidently communicate with their bosses or maybe colleagues or maybe their manager, supervisor, is that impacting their career or maybe any kind of a growth or appraisal? How is that impacting for an employee?
Definitely, this will impact Ravi because communication is one of the most critical skill, right? Everyone need to learn because I'll give you an example here. I come from the IT world. Okay, 17 years I've spent in the IT. Now, somebody might be a subject matter expert. Somebody might be a good programmer. Somebody might be a good networking engineer. Somebody might be good in troubleshooting certain things. But what if you are not able to communicate the message in the right way to the opposite person? If there is a client who is looking for solution, you have solved it, but you are not able to explain how did you solve it, right?
Correct.
So that's a challenge. And the biggest challenge is when you are talking to your team members, you're talking to your managers, if you are not able to communicate in the right way, then it will be misunderstood many a times. One of the biggest challenge where a lot of gap comes in, where people don't really understand you or people don't give you any promotion hike and all of that, is because of communication. You can't communicate to your manager in the right way, you cannot articulate your message, you cannot persuade that person, right? You cannot talk about whatever you have done in the structured way. Then there is a problem, right? And
Correct.
that becomes a big challenge when you are not able to do that in your appraisals and in your team meetings and all of that, and people cannot promote you because anybody and everybody in the corporate world should be a good communicator, because today we are all dealing not only with clients from India, but we are dealing with a lot of clients internationally, right?
Correct.
And if you are not able to represent those clients, represent your company in front of those clients, then companies cannot actually promote you or give you that position, right? Or give you that kind of roles. So there is a big gap in terms of when you don't have communication skills and when you just have this technical skills, then you will not be able to scale up, right? You need
Correct.
to have both of this, and communication definitely plays, I would say communication plays an upper hand, right? You, if you are able to communicate it well, then you are able to put that message. And even if here you are lacking a bit, when you give the right message and when you are able to convince your manager, you may get these trainings as well,
Correct.
right? But this is very important, the communication piece.
Yes. Thank you for sharing that. And how can one improve, like little by little step? What would be the first step you would recommend for those who are not confident enough? Because I especially see this kind of a thing, especially IT in IT industry, where people have lot of knowledges and expertise, but end of the day they are not able to communicate very well to their team leaders or maybe managers or maybe supervisor, and end of the day they are lacking behind. And especially someone who is very articulate about their communicating things in a very nice manner, they are the one who is able to go ahead with the leadership role as well. So how can one start with this confidence as a communication?
Okay, so there are multiple ways. I'll talk about what worked for me, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I'm sure like some of these tips would help others. And I think since we are also in IT, since you spoke about IT, there is a lot of on-site travel that happens in IT, as you are aware, Ravi, right? People are traveling these days. It's not like you sitting in maybe Mumbai or Bangalore, you're just working in that location. There's a lot of travel also happens, right? So you should be good communicator so that you go to any country, you meet any clients, then you're able to confidently speak. So some of the things I would say, first thing is like start reading books. Like somebody might be an introvert or an extrovert, right, who is not ready to talk to others, but can you start reading books? Reading books can definitely help, and that can improve your conversation, that can improve your communication, because when you are reading it, and one tip I give to people who read, who are struggling with communication, is read it loud, right, so that you can hear yourself. So read it loud so that you can hear yourself, and you can also hear like what kind of accent that you are using, right, how are
Right.
you pronouncing things. So all of that can keep improving, and the new words that you keep that are there in the books, keep marking them. And I do this whenever I see a new word, I go to Google and I start looking at what is the meaning of this, because
Correct.
I have not come from any big school or college. So for me, honestly speaking, some words I struggle, right? So I don't use very tough words in my English as well. But then when I look at some new words, I always go to Google and I search what is the meaning of this, like where can I use this word? And slowly, what I do is I start implementing that in my conversations. Like if yesterday I would have read a book, today if I'm speaking with you, I would try to use that word somewhere in the conversation and then
Right.
slowly bring that in my conversations, right? So that way your communication can improve and you keep bringing new words in your communication or in your English dictionary, right? So that is one thing, reading books. Second thing is start writing some content, written content. Again, if you are not very comfortable all the time talking to people, or you're not having that opportunity, start writing content, right, sharing your knowledge. If you are coming from the IT world, start sharing your knowledge, whatever you have learned in technology, or whatever services you are into, start sharing some knowledge in the form of content on social media, especially on LinkedIn, right? That can help you in terms of non-verbal communication. When you are writing, again you are thinking,
Correct.
you are thinking in English and you are trying to communicate there. Start doing that, start creating some video content if you are comfortable with that. That will improve again your English. Like me doing a lot of video content, I have like hundreds of videos today on YouTube, and me doing that has helped me to improve my communication skills, right? So somebody can start doing that, sharing knowledge in form of videos. And whenever there are meetings, try to take initiative, talk in the meetings. A lot of people try to be silent in the meetings. Meetings
Right.
is an opportunity. Talk in the meeting, whatever your point of view, right? Feel free to share that. Maybe you are wrong at times, maybe you are right at times, but only when you talk, people also will understand you or they will misunderstand you. Whatever, one of these two will happen. When they understand you, you are happy that your communication is good. When they misunderstand you, you know there is a gap and you need to improve on that. But you need to understand that there is a gap. For that, you need to speak, right? So start talking in the meetings, right? And whenever there is an opportunity for any kind of workshops, any kind of meetups, right, go join that. And then start talking to people, start interacting, start networking with people. That will help you. Like start talking to strangers in any kind of workshops, meetups, any kind of conferences that happen, right? So these kind of tips can definitely help you if you are able to take that up and then start working on it. And one
Wonderful,
one
wonderful.
important thing, Ravi, is again, like if there is an opportunity, go give a keynote speech. It need not be in front of 100 people. If there is an opportunity to present something in front of even like four members of your team, take that opportunity, take that initiative, and go present in front of the team. that will help you in becoming a good speaker, public speaker,
Correct.
and that will help you to become a thought leader in future as well. Right? So
Wonderful.
these are the tips,
Yes,
Ravi. Yeah.
I can totally relate to this, Fatah. You know what? Whatever you were saying, I was not good at my communication as well. I started reading book. Okay, when I started reading book, I used to start reading aloud, because whatever I'm reading, the same thing I'm going to use it in my language as well. So
Right.
that's why I am reading it loud whenever I'm reading, and that became a habit. And second thing you said that was very profound is people don't take initiatives. I also started doing that when I was in working in a call center. Okay, I come from a background of a call center wherein I have 11 plus years of experience. I was the silent guy. Whenever someone is giving some kind of a training, or maybe it's from a manager's meeting, conference call, anywhere, I am the silent guy. But when I took initiative that if I am silent, then I will not be able to improve anything in my life. So I took that initiative. I started asking one questions. Like whenever there is an opportunity, you need to ask questions. That's how you will come to know whether you are able to articulate that particular questions. Either two things will be happen. Either they will tell you that you asked a very good question, or maybe some people tell you, okay, no, that is not the right question you should have asked, and it is okay. Both are learning. We
Right.
need to be okay with that, because some people, they don't get started because of judging, because what other people will think. What if my English is not good? What if my communication is not good? What if my boss will tell me that no, you're not the right person, or you're not the right guy, like you do not know how to articulate things. They will feel bad. First of all, people need to stop thinking about what other people will think and how other people will judge you. That's when they will be able to grow. I can completely relate to that, because I was also started, though I studied in English medium, but I never spoke in English. My actual learning started after my HSC. I didn't even complete my graduation as well. After HSC, that's when I got started like improving my English and all. Good. Now, help us understand, when did you got the first breakthrough, or maybe when was the time? If I asked Fatah Khan that, what was the turning point in his life? The whole things got changed.
Okay. So as they rightly say, right, that before every breakthrough there is a breakdown. Right? And in my life also, that turning point came through a breakdown. Like it's almost about 4.5, 5 years now. There was a time when everything was good, but suddenly this turn happened in my life when my dad, right, he was not keeping well for some time, and but then he was recovering. And one fine day when I was sitting with him in his bedroom, right, talking to him, and then I stepped out of the bedroom and was sitting in the next room, that is the living room, and then suddenly I hear a scream, and I heard as if my dad was calling out my name, and then I rushed into the room to see him struggling and taking that last breath. And that was the time it shook me in and out, because like I called my mom, I called my sisters, we all tried to do the best for him, but then we were not able to save him. And that really shook me. That made me ask some important questions in my life, that is this really life? Like 1 minute a person is front of you and the next moment he's gone. Right? And that made me realize that whatever I was living, the life was not really the fulfilled life. It was a very selfish life. Right? I was having a good job, I was having a car, house, traveling US and everything. Right? I was happy in my own ways, but I felt that somewhere it was a selfish life, because one day even I have to go, just like my dad. And what did my dad take back from this world? Did he take back his money, his house, car? Nothing. Right? He did not even take along with him his kids. Right? Nobody went along with him. He had to go all alone. But what went along with him, his good deeds. Right? He always wanted to serve the society. He always used to talk about education. He was a good big promoter of education. He used to always tell that education is the only weapon which can transform this world, and he used to promote education a lot. And that's where he wanted me to either become an IS officer, IPS officer, so that I can serve the society, I can help people to get more educated and all of that. But I didn't have big dreams until then. But this incident shook me and made me ask these important questions: that who am I? What defines me? What am I giving back to this world? Right? And those questions actually made me to start getting involved with a lot of NGOs. I wanted to give back to society, and I was looking at different ways. And one of the way I found was going to different NGOs, and that's where I started going to NGO. Through NGOs, I started going to some remote places, to some schools, colleges, mostly underprivileged schools and colleges, right, and helping those students on their careers. And that started giving me a lot of satisfaction and fulfillment. And that was my breakthrough. And that was the moment I started realizing that whatever I was doing as part of job, my salary was making me happy, but the fulfillment only came when I started giving back to the society in terms of my education or whatever ways I was able to impact them. That's when I started feeling that fulfillment. And that became that moment which actually gave me that breakthrough or the turning point in my life, which made me realize, okay, this is what I want to do throughout my life.
Yeah, that's correct, because we can see like you were working, you were earning a good enough salary, and everything was going good, and you were also able to, you got a chance to travel all over the world as well, right? And after that, suddenly, like after this incident, it's we can see that you struggled a lot for this as well, right?
Yeah.
And so when this thing happened, okay, after that, what was the one thing you started searching for?
One thing I was searching for was maybe like meaning in life. Right, that is the one thing, because there was a hollow feeling, Ravi, when I lost my dad. Though I had everything, I had people around me, I had money, everything, but there was a hollow feeling, as if something really big is missing in my life. Right? I know that it's a fact that people come, people go, whether it's my dad, whether it's somebody else, even we have to go from here, right? I
Right.
know that fact, but then still, I could not, like, it was very difficult for me to take this and then move forward in my life, where I had lost my dad. And that was the one big thing that was going on in my mind. What is the meaning of life? Right? Why am I not feeling happy about whatever I have? Why am I feeling so hollow? Right, what do I really need in life? And finding that meaning, I started going to different places, and that's where I landed up with this NGOs, and then finding what can I do. That's where I started going to schools, colleges, career guidance, and that's how the journey started. And over a period of time, this search was always there, like what more, what more, what more, how do I impact more lives? And doing that, I fumbled upon one of the videos, like couple of years back, and got into one workshop, virtual workshops. From there, got into meet a person who became my mentor, right? And then from there, I started finding, okay, fine, what is my passion? How can I impact a lot of lives using my passion? How do I like completely get into this journey where I'm transforming myself plus also able to then transform people's lives? So that's how this journey started. And that was the one big thing, the one big question which led me to wherever I am today. What is the meaning of life?
That's correct. Yeah, very true. Because when you, it seems like you have everything, but still from inside you do not feel like you have nothing. You just lost that thing, because whatever you're saying, like even I got a goosebump like when you were sharing your story, right? At one point of a time there is a person in front of you, and within a second that person is no more, and that is very difficult, and it's very hard to digest us as well when we think about that. And also I can see for listeners like who don't know, like Fatah is also known as a man of a golden heart, because we can see him like especially in COVID season, right? When people were struggling for like oxygens and everything, like Fatah was able to contribute some good amount of things to needy and poor people who are really in need. And I see that like one of the thing for the, this is something which we have as a limiting belief. We can see that even if I have once I have enough money, then only I will be able to give it to others. What would you like to tell for this particular audience? Like,
So I think we almost all of us have that, and I also had this thought process, right? Only when I have enough, I'll be able to give. But then after this incident, when I started giving back in small ways, I found that that small ways, whatever we are doing, itself is a big thing for somebody in on the opposite side, right?
correct.
For like I remember when I purchased a few bags that I wanted to give in one of the school, like the government school, and for me it was not a big money there, right? I put a few thousands to purchase about 50 to 100 bags. But then when I went to that school and when I was giving these gifts, the bags or whatever, I could see that kind of happiness on their faces, because a lot of them were having those stone bags, right? They, for them it's like a dream, right? Even in our childhood we had something like this. Somebody gets us a good bag or a
Yes.
good pencil box, we used to be so happy. But for us, it was our known people most of the times, like our uncles, our aunts, or father, or somebody. But for those underprivileged children, it's very difficult. And when somebody else is doing that, they get that sense of hope and inspiration in their life, right? That yes, there is God, there are good people who are ready to help us, and the inspiration is, yes, I want to become somebody like this. I want to be big in my life, I want to grow big in my life, and I want to give back, right? So that kind of thought process started getting more in me, inside me, when I started giving back to the society in the small ways. And that's when the COVID struck. One thing was, during the COVID is the time when I actually quit my job, right? People
Oh,
were trying to save their job, but I took this big step because I realized this is my passion, and now I cannot play that part time. I want to play it full time. And when I came out of my job, I had a certain money that came through my PF and the other stuff, and I had saved it for myself, because I wanted to have this as a backup when I have issues in my own career in terms of my entrepreneurship journey. But I realized people were struggling out there, and there were thousands of people, lakhs of people struggling out there. And I was like, how can I help all of these people? It's not possible, right?
correct.
Can I even serve hundreds of people? I felt it's not possible with the kind of money that I have. Then I said, can I get still started with it and see if that is possible? Because you have an intent, you want to serve the universe. Then there is this universe, then there is this Almighty God who is always ready to help you. That's
Correct.
when I went all out and then announced in the social media, because I was very active in social media. I announced on social media that I'm going to serve 1,000 families with grocery. And believe me, I did not even have the calculation on paper or even in my mind how much does it take to serve 1,000 families with a grocery. But then I went all out. At that time, I believe I had about 1.5 or 2 lakhs in my pocket, right? And I said, can I put all of this from my side and I see what happens, right after that? And with that, I think I was able to accommodate about 100 families or so, 150 families. And then I first started with my money, and then I started picked up a small village. From there, we like served a few families. And what I did was I posted that on social media, and that inspired a lot of people. And a lot of my known friends started reaching out to me. Fatha, you are doing a great job, can I also be a part of this? And contributions started coming in. And believe me, there were so many unknown people who also wanted to contribute. But then I don't have an NGO. I am not somebody who's an authorized NGO person or something. So I said, no, no, I cannot take it from the unknown people. But then I took it from my known friends, my close friends who trust on me. And through that, we were able to serve more than 1,000 families. So the message here is, if you have the intent and you
Correct.
start with your own small ways, then the universe will always support you and make it big, right? So but the question is, can you get started, right? Get
Right.
started with the small ways. And when you have even like less money, and I think that's the time we need to get started, rather than waiting for we have everything in our life. See, because one thing we cannot promise in our life is time,
Correct.
right? How much time each one of us have in our lives, we don't know, right? So waiting for that time to come and that money to get accumulated before you give back to the society, you never know whether you will be alive or you're gone. Whatever you
Yes.
have, certain percentage, maybe like 3%, 5%, 10%, whatever you can contribute, start doing that now. And believe me, when you start giving that, right, it actually your wealth, your everything expands in terms of you get abundance in your life when you give back to the universe, because universe will give back more and more.
That's correct. Yes, I can totally relate to this because that is some different kind of a fulfillment which you get, right? And many people what they think is even they are earning like 25K a month or maybe 50K or maybe lakh a month. They think that I do not have enough money to get started. Once I am earning some good amount of money, or maybe I have like around lakhs of rupees in my account, or maybe crores of rupees in my account, then I will go ahead and then help people. But it totally starts the other way around.
Right.
Even if you're earning 10,000 rupees, I'm just talking a very basic 10,000 rupees a month, and you are able to give 10 rupees or maybe just 100 rupees to the charity or helping the needy or poor people, that is more than enough. And that's how the actual you need to get started, because I was not knowing this kind of a thing. And when I started, when I was earning around like 20 or 25K when I was working in call center. But what I used to do is, or maybe it's a 500 rupees or maybe 1,000 rupees, when I got that started, I have seen that every doors in my life started opening. I don't know how it just works. Like like same you said, right? It's an abundance feeling. At the same time, it's you will start getting abundance in your life
In
because
life.
your every doors, like whatever doors were shut, all the doors get started opening because the intent you have. Because it's not about 10 rupees or 100 rupees or 1 lakh rupees or $1 million rupees, right? It's the intent that whatever I have, I can let me help with that. That makes a huge difference, and completely, it's a different kind of a fulfillment altogether.
Right.
Good. Let me ask you this, Fatah. Like, what are the three important limiting beliefs which you had from childhood, and how it was actually stopping you to achieve your dreams in your life, and how did you overcome it?
Okay. For me, the three important limiting beliefs, number one definitely is like I'm not good enough in terms of look wise, right? I'm dark and dark is ugly, right? That is one of the limiting belief I had. The other one is I'm not intelligent enough, right? I felt people who are scoring great marks, people who are topping in the school were all geniuses, and I believed like people are born geniuses, right? And you cannot do it because you are not intelligent, right? So that was the second limiting belief. And the third limiting belief is I'm not born in a rich family or so. Like I have not seen abundance in life, and then abundance would never come to me, right? I cannot be in big companies. I cannot fly places, right? So those kind of limiting beliefs were there. Like these were the top three limiting beliefs, if you have to ask me.
Yeah. Yes, like I can relate to this because someone like for me, when like I born from a lower middle class family, right? When we come from that particular background, it but obvious you think that I'm not lucky enough, or maybe I'm not lucky enough to born in a rich family.
Hmm.
But that should not stop you, right? Because that
Right.
should not stop you of achieving your dreams. Because one of the quotes which has changed my life, if I would say, is that is like, if you are born poor, it's not mistake, but if you die poor, that is your mistake, from Bill Gates. That made me realize it was not in my hand. Like wherever I born, I'm absolutely fine with that. It doesn't matter if you're born in a rich family, lower middle class family, or in a poor family. What it is matter is where you go. And there
Right.
are so many ways like wherein you can go ahead and do some good things, and at the same time the abundance will follow.
Right.
Yeah. So now, what you have to say to the people, one, how one employee, how he can build a dream career.
Okay. So first of all, dream
Let
career.
me give
Let
you
me
a
give.
context over here.
Yeah.
Like
Go
maybe,
ahead.
yes. Yes. So maybe a person who is struggling in a job and he's doing the job which he hates. He wanted to do, or maybe he wanted to join some other companies, and maybe his dream job. but he's stuck in somewhere different kind of a job which he had. So how can one go ahead and build a dream career?
Okay, so that's a good question and close to my heart as well, because today I help people to build their dream careers, and that's what my book also talks about. So
Yes.
first of all, career, as in career, is not just a job. Like a lot of people get caught up between jobs, jumping from one job to the other job to the other job to the other job, right? And they are not very clear like what kind of career they want to build, right? So understanding this, that career is not just a job, career is a long term vision that you have, right? Career is all about how do you want to live your life. Career is not like disconnected from life, career is always connected with your life, because most of the time if we see, we are spending in our jobs, right? We are spending like whatever career we are into, whether it be a job, a 9 to 5 job, or you're an entrepreneur. Entrepreneurship is also a career, right? Somebody chooses to be an entrepreneur, that's his or her career. Somebody chooses to be in a job, that's his or her career. So most of the time in our life we spend on career, like we spend about 20-21 years in education, right? And that is again to build our dream careers only, right? We want to build our dream careers, that's why we are studying maybe science, or maybe commerce, maybe arts, because we know we want to connect with this to our career, right? So that's how we get started in terms of like first of all, education wise, education, most of them would not have that choice of what kind of education to do, right? Because uh, people are not very clear. And then like I was also not very clear, and I did my engineering because most of them were doing their engineering, right? So you get started there, and then you get caught up, you get in the flow. Once you are done with engineering, you get into IT job, you just keep doing job. But first thing is start identifying what you really want to do in your life, right? What is that you want to follow as your passion? Right? Now passion can be something where you actually, like as one of as my mentor says, right, passion is something where you can build your business around it, in terms of like being an entrepreneur like me, a coach like you, a coach, right? Passion can be where you are growing yourself in the business, right, inside the business as an employee, which is nothing but intrapreneurship, right? It can be entrepreneurship, it can be entrepreneurship, but identify what you really love to do. Because don't just go to a job because you are getting some money out there. Go to do something which you really love, right? Start identifying what do you really love. How do you identify that? Like first of all, get to know like, okay, fine, what is that you really like enjoy doing? When you are doing something, what do you lose track of? All right, when you are losing track of time, when you are doing certain thing, nobody really has to sit on your head. Like I have a lot of my friends who are good coders, developers, and they love doing it. Nobody gives them any instruction, nobody is sitting on top of them. They make sure they are sitting there for 12 hours, 14 hours. They are doing it from home because they love doing it, right? So identify what is that you really love doing, that you lose track of time, right? And then identify like what are the skills that you have in that particular area. Now you might be loving coding, but you might not be really good at it, but skill you can definitely develop. Any skill can be developed, be it like coding, networking, or anything. It can be developed. Identify what skills you have and what you need to develop as those skills. And then the third part is identify the demand in the marketplace. Now to build your dream career, it's very important to understand what is happening in the marketplace, what is there outside in the marketplace which is in huge demand, which can pay you good. Because you love something, you're doing something, but it's not paying you good, that is where you struggle in your life. And when you are not making good money, when you are not able to take care of your household needs, whatever, for your family, for your spouse, your kids, for your parents, that is when you actually start blaming your job, that is when you start cursing your job and all of that. So if you have to build your dream career, you will have to also see like what kind of skills are you working on, whether that skill or that particular technology is in demand in market. Through that, can you make really some good money, so that you come out of that survival mode, you come out of that struggling mode where you are just struggling and surviving. Every rupee counts for you, and you have to calculate before you say yes to your daughter or to your son to say, oh yeah, we can pick up that toy today, right? Or we can go to this restaurant tomorrow. You don't have to really struggle with that, right? That that actually happens, Ravi, when you are working on something that you really love. Because when you love something, you work really hard to build that skill. So, and the most important question you need to ask yourself whenever you are picking your career or doing certain thing is, why am I doing that? Simon Sinek beautifully has written in his book, Start with Why, right? Golden circle that he has shown. So start with your why do you want to do whatever you want to do? Why do you want to become that great developer? Why do you want to become that great networker? Why do you want to get into business analytics? Why do you want to get into data sciences, right? Why do you want to get into like DevOps, or why do you want to get into maybe like people management? Why do you want to become a program manager? When your why is very clear, how will become easy? When your why is very strong, right? For me, my why is strong. Why do I want to become a great coach? And how I will figure out? I'll reach out to tens of mentors, I'll read hundreds of books, I'll go to like thousands of YouTube videos, I will find content from here and there, whatever. How I will figure out? Because my why is strong. So people need to start identifying their why. So first thing is start with why. Second thing is identify that passion, whatever you love doing, right? Third thing is identify where are you on those skills and start building that skills in the right way. And the fourth thing is identify whether that skill is a really good and in demand in the market, because a lot of people are working on the skills which are dead, right? People don't pay anymore for those skills, right? And if you are caught up in those kind of technology or skills, you need to come out of your comfort zone and work on this. And if you are able to work on these four factors, and if you are able to consistently work on them, right, then you will be able to build your dream career. And believe me, everyone can build their dream careers. I say this, that everyone has dreams, right? And everyone has the right to dream big. Every one
Right.
of us has the right to dream big, and every one of us has the potential to achieve those dreams. Believe in yourself, get started, and you will be able to build your dream career.
Very, very beautifully said, and I can totally relate to this because when you were sharing this, I was going back in my days that how did I started in call center because there was no guidance for me. I wanted to just earn money. I did not see that whether I like that job or not. So if I would have started what all things I like, which kind of a job I like, doesn't matter. That money will come definitely as a default. But need to see that which is the job which you are just enjoying it. Like same you said, some enjoy coding, some enjoy designing, some enjoy managing their projects, some enjoying the just giving like leading a direction. So that is what you need to know. And yes, as you rightly said, because this is what I also teach to my mentees, and this is what I go with is like something like getting rich is your birthright, that
Right,
no one can steal it from you, right? Because you need to be think that if you have born in this particular world, like if you can dream big, that means you can also achieve that particular dream, because
right.
that's why you're dreaming big, right?
Yes.
In the first place you would have not dreamt big if you do not have the ability to achieve that, right? And when someone is working in corporate, okay, and I can see there are, so let's suppose for someone is working around like 5 plus years in a job, okay, in a corporate world, and then they are stuck, and they are stuck. And when we go ahead and check with them, and when we ask them that, they say that this is the one thing I know, like you can relate to this as well. They said that there are so many office politics which is going on, because of which I am not able to get that growth. And
Hmm.
I see, like I know for sure, like you're the best person, because you're the person who also help people like how to stay away with the corporate politics, and still at the same time you can get the growth in your organization. What would you like to tell to those people? How can they do things differently, or how can they get started? Thanks.
Hmm. Interesting question, right? And sometimes it's a little controversial, because I remember when I wanted
Yes.
to teach this to my mentees, handling office politics. A lot of them were like, "Fatha sir, we don't want to learn this dirty politics. We don't want to play in the corporate world," right? So there is a lot of misconception and a lot of beliefs around this. Uh, but yes, I'm not going to go in like talk a lot about this, but I'm going to give a few quick tips here and help people understand about office politics. Now, one thing is office politics is there everywhere. You need to agree to this, right? It's there almost everywhere. If there are people, then there is politics, right? There is politics everywhere. And you need to start, first of all, understanding this, that office politics is a game. Whether you play it or not, you are part of the game. Now, a lot of people say, "Father, sir, I am not playing this office politics, so why should I care for it?" So, thing is, whether you play it or not, you are part of the office politics. If there is office politics going on in your office, then you are part of it. Right? You do it or not, somebody else is involving you. I remember there was a time in my career when I was like, there was a lot of politics going on, and I said the same thing. I'm not doing anything wrong, so why should I care about it? But there were people who were playing office politics, and there were people playing against me as well, right? Because somebody has to grow, then they have to put down somebody else. That's all office politics about, right? And that is where I got caught up in the game, where people were manipulating numbers and I was not doing that, and suddenly I was the odd man out. And that's where I was targeted, and there was a situation where I would have lost my job, but by God's grace I stood for the truth, and somewhere the leadership recognized later that what was the wrong things happening around in the team, and those things were taken care. But it does not happen every time, and sadly, Ravi, a lot of people lose job also due to office politics, right?
Right.
And I have seen my own mentees, some of them have lost their jobs due to office politics because they did not understand how to play this game. Now, one thing people have to realize is, if you don't play this game, then somebody else will win. It's like giving a walk out, right? You are giving a walk away, you are not playing that game, somebody else plays. Since you are not playing, they will win it. So you need to understand, first of all, what is office politics. You need to understand why people play this game. Now, this is all, most of the times this game is because of the power. People want to build their power, people want to build their influence, people want to grow fast than others, right? And there are multiple reasons why people do office politics, but most of the reasons are around power, around that position, around the growth, around getting the money, right? So that is why people play that game. So you need to understand this, that this game is not about systems, this game is not about any tools, any softwares, or any processes. This game is about people. So
Right.
to play this game well, you need to start understanding people very well. First of all, before you understand people, understand yourself, who you are as a person, what are your strengths, what are your weakness. One of my biggest weakness was my emotional. I was emotional, right? That was a weakness because I used to get angry. I was emotional, and somebody says something wrong, I used to get emotional, right? And I used to maybe get angry at times. So that was my weakness. So people play with you on your weaknesses, and you need to also understand what is that your strength. My skills were my strength. I was very good at what I was doing, so that was my strength. So you need to identify what are your strengths, what are your weakness, right? So that you can build on your strengths and you can start working on improving your weaknesses, right? If emotions is your weakness, if you are mentally weak and that is your weakness, you need to definitely work on your mental toughness,
Right.
because office politics is a mental game, it's a mind game. So if you are mentally strong, whatever the opposite person does, you're not going to cry. You are not going to become that victim, say, having that victim mindset. You will always have that winner mindset. Somebody plays the game or not, I know how to come out of it. I know how to handle this. I know how to talk to this person. I can deal it better. So when you have that kind of mindset, you can handle it well. So having that mindset is very important, working on your mindset and on your skills, understanding your strengths, weakness, opportunities, threats, the SWOT analysis you do for yourself. The next thing is understanding the people around you, right? Understanding the kind of mindset these people have, whether they have scarcity mindset, whether they have abundance mindset, whether they have a mediocre mindset, whether they have like a great mindset. Understanding people around you, so that based on their mindset, you also work with them according to that. If somebody has a scarcity mindset, right? If somebody has a mindset of insecurity, now you need to give them time to time assurance. Like if your boss has an insecurity mindset and he might be thinking you are a great performer, you might go out of the team very soon because
Right.
somebody else might offer you. You need to keep giving them that assurance time to time. Hey boss, I'm going to stay here, I'm here for the long game, right? I'm not going to jump out. And that's when that boss will always think about you when there is a promotion or a hike,
Mm.
right? So understand the mindset of the boss, understand the mindset of your team members, what kind of mindset these people come with. If anybody has a scarcity mindset, right, you need to show a lot of abundance to them, right? And you need to work with them accordingly, because for them, they will not never share their knowledge because of their scarcity mindset. So you need to understand the mindset of people. And the other thing you need to understand is, you also need to understand the personality of everybody. Now, if your boss is a result oriented person who is always looking at results, for him, results is the number one priority. You cannot be a good person, you cannot be a great team player, and then the boss will promote you because you were handling the teams very well, or you were dealing with the teams very well, or you were following the processes very well, right? Or you are a good person with a lot of compassion. Your boss will look at the number one priority that he has, that is results. So
Correct.
if your boss is result oriented, work to show him results. If your boss is a people person, right, who believes in teamwork and all of that, now you have to show him the teamwork that you are doing. That will
Correct.
actually motivate him to give you that promotion or hike. And if your boss is somebody who believes in a lot of processes, compliances and all, you need to make sure whether you generate 100% results or not, you are 100% following the processes. So
Right. Right.
based on that, you need to understand all of this. And the most important element, the last one I would share here, is the power dynamics. Understand who has the power in your organization, who is the influencer in your organization, who is a dummy person who does not have any role to play, who does not have any position or power, right? And who has the power? How do you talk to these people? How do you network with these people who have power and influence? So that whenever there is a promotion or hike, you know who is that is the ultimate decision maker. And if you are connected well with that power influencer, then you will get promoted. If you are connected with somebody who is not an influencer or has power, dummy person, then you will not get that promotion or hike. So understanding the power dynamics and working accordingly is also very important, that you need to understand from the office politics point of view. So these are some of the tips. If people can start following Ravi, I think they will be able to get success in their journey. And above all of this, what I tell people is, become that person, right, whom people would get inspired or follow with, and become that person who, anything comes, right, the work that matters the most, right? Become that person whose work speak for himself. And if you are able to do that, any kind of office politics, you can still withstand and keep moving ahead.
Wow. I can totally see that, in the last 2, 3 minutes, this was just a golden nugget, because this is something which is keeps on reminding in people's mind that what should I do, what should I not to do because of this politics and everything. But now, listeners, if you are going through these challenges, I would highly demand you to connect with Fatah Khan, okay, who is a mid-career transformation coach, who will help you to deal with the office politics. And because it's actually makes sense, because it's nothing about you. If there is some politics is going on, it's okay. You need to understand different personalities. What is something your boss like he's a result oriented person, he's a compliance guy, or what accordingly we need to work, then only that harmony can be built in the team as well, right?
Right, right. And to add
um,
on, Ravi, here, as you rightly said, right, it's nothing against you. Don't take it personal, right?
Correct.
At your workplace, it is also always about task, results, processes, all of this, right? It is also about clients, the expectations. It's a business, right, where people are looking to generate more money, income, businesses, and all of that. So don't take it personal, because the more you take it personal, the harder it becomes for you to come out of that and to actually respond and then work in the right way. So take it as something that's for the task, for the activities, for the processes, not specifically personally on you. And the one most important thing is, don't lose yourself in this particular office politics, right? Whoever is playing office politics is fine, but you be the person who is actually being able to face yourself in the mirror every single day. Don't
Right.
get dirty in that dirty politics, because in the long run, right, you may lose this job. The worst what can happen, you may lose this job, but you will find a new job because of your skills and talent. but you will never lose that respect in front of people or in your own eyes. Because once you lose
Mm,
that respect, Ravi, then there is no long term this one, right? There is no fulfillment in life, there is no happiness. So you need to have your own self respect, and you need to follow your core values all the time, whatever is happening. Right? Don't play the dirty politics. Don't become dirty in playing this dirty politics. Right? Always
that's
follow your core values, because the person who you become, people will love you and appreciate will you, and they will stay connected with you for long term because of your values.
That's correct. That's correct. 100%. And also, when you were talking about the result, I know like one of your mentees who got 50%, more than 50% hike, like after going through your program. Like, what was the feeling was going through, like when you were able to help that person to get like a more than 50% hike?
That is a feeling like which is a feeling of fulfillment, right? When people
Hmm.
come back and then your mentees are sharing that results with you, that hey Fatah, I got 50% hike. And some of my mentees have got, one of my mentee recently, he got a 130% hike, right?
Wow.
And somebody getting a 90% hike, 70% hike in their job. And it's not always just about the money that they are earning in terms of the hike, but the kind of life that they are living. They are able to give more time to their families, they are able to be more mentally strong, they are able to grow in their careers, personal transformation. All of this happens when they share that, right? It's an immense feeling of like fulfillment, which cannot be expressed in words. And at times, Ravi, I get tears in my eyes when I hear this from my mentees. I'm an
Right.
emotional person, so I get like tears in my eyes when I hear from this mentees, because there were times in my own career where I have struggled because I did
Hmm.
not get the hike or promotion at the right times. I was struggling because of office politics or whatever reasons, right? But when I'm able to transform the lives of these corporate professionals, it gives me a immense satisfaction and a feeling of fulfillment that yes, I was able to add value in their lives. And that feeling cannot be compared with any kind of money or
Right.
anything else in this world.
That is the actual fulfillment which we all are in this particular universe. Like, it's not about money is the secondary, which is a default. Like, the how many people you impact, definitely that will be a default. Money will be a byproduct of the value you create in the marketplace. This is
Right.
the actual value you are creating in the marketplace. And keep doing the great work, I would say, for that.
Thank
And
you.
we are coming to our end on this Ravikumar Nadar show. Okay. Now, I have three questions for you, okay, which will be interesting. So, the very first question is, which is your favorite food and why do you like that so much?
Okay, my favorite food is mutton biryani. I mean, so I love it so much. Maybe because from the childhood have been eating this, and especially at least today we get to eat it most of the times. But in childhood and all, it was preferred mostly in the Eid time, right? Food was
Right.
not like that kind of abundance, or people were not trying different foods during our childhood. Yes, there was, right? But the way today, like so many restaurants have been open, we get to eat whatever we like at our own choice of time, and money is there in abundance and all of that. But yes, from my childhood, that has been something very special. And even today, the mutton biryani is one of my favorite food.
Wonderful, wonderful. I know, like listeners, if someone who is like who is a non-vegetarian, the moment they think about biryani, they get like juices. They can think about it. Okay, wonderful. And the second question is, who is your idol in your life and why he is very important for you?
Okay, for me, one of the ideal in my life definitely was my dad, who was a big inspiration, right? Who actually wanted to give back a lot. For me, he was because of his giving nature, right? And he came with lot of struggles in his life. He came from a small village, and the way he put a lot of hard work, he was a massive action taker, I can say. He was somebody who was very well disciplined. He was somebody who used to take who used to work really hard. And the best part was he never worked hard only for himself. He was a big time giver. He made sure his family members, his brothers, his sisters, their families are taken care, right? He made sure a lot of people who are looking for help. I remember at times when people used to come to house and ask for money, I used to feel, oh, why my dad is giving it to them, right? But that was how he was. And education is one thing that he always looked at in terms of impacting people's lives. And that actually made him my hero, and till date he is my hero whom I follow in terms of, and that is his mission that I have taken today, Ravi. His mission was to impact people's lives through education, and I have taken my hero's mission, and then I'm following it in my life, where my mission today is to transform 10 million lives by helping people to unlock their full potential, and today helping them to build their dream careers. So my favorite and my ideal is my dad, and he will remain, because every time I do something good, I remember, yes, dad is like happy because I'm doing this. So he
That's
is my
great.
ideal. Yeah.
Yes, yes, definitely. He is looking at you because the kind of work you're doing and the kind of help you're impacting so much of people by helping them to get their dream career job. Definitely, he will be looking at you and he will be thinking and he will be feeling happy about it.
Right.
And the third question is what is the one mistake you would like to tell our listeners to avoid in life?
Hmm. One mistake I would say people to avoid in life is, I think, a lot of limiting beliefs I had in my life, and because of that limiting beliefs, somewhere there was self doubt. I did not believe in myself, and
Mhm.
wherever I did not believe in myself, be it in the childhood when I felt I'm not intelligent, so that because of which I cannot top in school, and never topped in school because of that limiting belief or that self doubt, right? In my career, wherever I doubted that I'm not good enough, because of which I cannot interact with people or whatever, right? So wherever I had self doubt or limiting beliefs, I did not get success. But wherever I had like confidence, like I remember right from my childhood, one thing I was very confident and passionate about was public speaking.
Mhm.
Getting on that small stage of three stairs to reaching to a TEDx and then becoming that TEDx speaker, it was all because of the self belief. So the biggest mistake I made in my life was self doubt, right? So I give this message to the audiences: stop doubting yourself, believe in yourself, right?
Right.
Believe in yourself that you are best, because the universe, God has created each one of us in the best way, right?
That's
We
correct.
are all created in the best way because he knows best what is good for us, right? But we sometimes we get into a place where we start into comparison, we start feeling we are not good enough, self doubt, right? Self criticism, self beating, and we lose that. Because of all of this, we lose gratitude in our life, right? So thing is, believe in yourself and then start working on the positive direction, and when you are able to do that, you will be able to get success in your life. So one big mistake I want people to avoid is stop having that self doubts, right? Believe in yourself all the time.
That's correct. That's yes, wonderfully said that because if you do not believe in yourself, then who will?
Right.
Right?
Absolutely.
Correct. Good. So, how can one find you? Like for the entire, like maybe your coaching program or your book. How can one find you? How can one get in touch with you?
Okay. So, yes, a book is available on Amazon. My book, Build Your Dream Career, is available on Amazon. And by God's grace, it's the best selling book there. So, you search with Build Your Dream Career, or you search with Fatah Khan on Amazon, you will be able to find the book. That's how you can grab my copy of the book, and then you can read how to build your dream career. The other places, I'm there on social media, on Facebook, LinkedIn, and the Instagram, and also on YouTube. So wherever you go, you can search with Fatah Khan, Fathakhan. Fatah Khan. If you search, you will be able to find me. And I'm like predominantly I'm there on LinkedIn. If somebody wants to connect or drop a message to me, Ravi, I'm there on LinkedIn because it's one of the networking platforms for the corporate people. And I share a lot of content there. I connect with people. I help them in my own ways. So that's where people can reach out to me through LinkedIn. And yes, when they grab their copy of the book, also there are all the links provided of how they can connect with me through my social media channels, through my YouTube, and all of that.
Wonderful, wonderful. So, guys, if you want to build your dream career, so make sure you are connecting with Fatah Khan because he is the one who had built his dream career and he's on the journey to help others to build their own dream career as well. Okay, so you can search him in social media. And yes, do not think twice and go ahead and grab your copy now in Amazon. His book, Build Your Dream Career, which is available. One secret from that particular book can change your entire career in your life. Okay, so do not wait for that particular secret, because I can see like there are so many people who have read. I myself, though I am in the journey as a coach, though I also read that particular book and I got so much benefit of this. So it is something like it's not only for the job, like who wants to build a dream career, but there are something like maybe his story or maybe some of the other thing which I got connected. Okay, so thank you so much, Mr. Fatah Khan, for coming to the Ravikumar Nadar show. Okay, it was wonderful, wonderful, wonderful after meeting you. Okay,
Thank you, Ravi. It's my honor that you gave me this privilege to be on the first episode of the Ravi Kumar Nadar show, and I'm sure this is going to go big, right? And a lot of prayers and a lot of blessings for you, so that this show reaches like 100 episodes very soon, and then beyond that, and you be able to add the value, because I know the intention of this show is to add a lot of value to your audiences, to people out there, by bringing a lot of influencers and people who can share their stories and their ways of helping out people in different niches. So, all the best for your journey, and thank you once again for bringing me on the show.
thank you, thank you. Okay, so listeners, if I came from a lower middle class family, okay, and if I can stand in front of people, and if I'm able to interview people, if I'm able to speak with confidently, even you can do that. Okay, because I only follow one thing in my life. Because if you're born in lower middle class or middle class family or poor family, it's absolutely fine, because getting rich is your birthright. Okay, so we'll see you soon in the next episode, episode number 2. Okay, so just wait and check who is our next guest. Okay, thank you. Till that time, take care. Bye.
Yeah. Thank you, Ravi. Thanks, everyone.
Thanks.